Hey, this is Hunter with Tortoise and Hare Software, and today we're going to be talking about running a quick SEO audit by looking at a website in SEMRush. Let's dive in. So in a sales conversation, there's not going to be time to actually hook a website up to an SEO tool and run an audit. But oftentimes there's 5 or 10 minutes to kind of look and see what's going on with the prospect's website and do a kind of quick mini SEO audit, and just kind of talk to them about the problems and the opportunities that are going on with their site. And this can be done with a couple of tools, one being SEMRush, or other SEO type auditing tool, and then another is like a Google PageSpeed Insights tool just to get a UX performance. So we'll hop over to the screen share here and kind of look at what we might talk about with a sales prospect and do like a just turbo quick SEO audit live with them to help them understand what's going on with their website. All right, so I'm gonna kind of walk through what I'd look at about a website with SEMrush, and I'm gonna use the Tortoise and Hare software domain to kind of walk through this report to start with. So the first thing here is kind of an SEO score, authority score. This score doesn't mean a ton, but it is a good way to just get a number to kind of score your website, just like for some directional assessment of a domain's power, ability to rank, and things like that. There are a lot of reasons that this number could be off by 5-10 points in either direction, but I think it's still pretty helpful just to get a ballpark understanding of what's the relative strength of a website. These authority scores are calculated on a logarithmic basis, so it's much easier to go from 0 to 50 score-wise as it is to get from 50 to 100. So a lot of mid-market SMB kind of technology companies are going to be in the 30 to 50 range, and really are going to cap out around there. There's just not a lot of reasons that a B2B website's ever going to exceed an authority score of 50. So honestly, a 22 is pretty competitive, especially for a solo company. Organic search traffic. This number is not super meaningful because it really is dependent on what the company's positioning is, but traffics that get more organic search traffic rank better and therefore usually get even more organic search traffic. And this usually is nowhere close to actually what's going on in analytics. It does tend to get a little bit more accurate with higher volume sites, but is not that important for doing this audit. Paid search traffic, also not super relevant. Backlinks. So there's two things that are really a good indicator of the strength of a website overall. And that's the number of referring domains, which here is 572, and the number of backlinks, which here is 7,000. So we've obviously got some domains with more than one link coming from them, but really the number of unique referring domains is the biggest indicator. I would say that I generally see for B2B tech websites kind of three classes of domains. There's domains with three classes of websites. There's domains with under 100 unique referring domains pointing back to them, and this means another website is linking back to yours. So let's say Yelp.com is linking to your B2B tech website. That would be considered one of these unique referring domains. Let's say yellowpages.com is also linking. That means you have two referring domains pointing to your website. So, this is kind of what that means, the number of unique referring domains. Probably the most important number on this page, even though it's one of the smallest. And yeah, the number of, again, there's kind of the three classes. There's the sites that have under 100 unique referring domains. I'd say a good chunk of MSP websites out there, and bootstrapping, or like a lot of people have websites. They may have done a few pages and things like that, but they don't have any sort of meaningful link building done. Haven't done their business directories, stuff like that. So that's kind of one class, is that under 100 unique referring domains type website. Those sorts of websites are going to generally get very little traffic, have very few keywords that they're ranking for, and just generally not be getting a whole lot of value out of SEO. Then I would say there's the websites that are in the 100 to 1,000 referring domains, and that's usually the sort of companies, like Tortoise and Hare, that have invested in SEO in some capacity, and are trying to be more competitive, and there's definitely going to be an improvement in rankings and keywords and things like that along that 100 referring domains to 1,000 referring domains sort of threshold. So more domains is better. Then once you get over 1,000 referring domains, generally you've got a $10 million type business that's dominating a good chunk of keywords in either their industry, a regional area, a functional area, something like that. And that's really a more mature type business, is when you start to get over that 1,000 domain sort of threshold. You're definitely getting a lot of value out of SEO once you start crossing the 1,000 referring domains sort of threshold. And then there's these kind of charts here which kind of show organic traffic fluctuations over time. So these can be helpful in just understanding was there a previous SEO value that was lost or something like that. This is a pretty normal growth curve though, because with algorithm changes and things like that, your traffic and your base of keywords and things like that are going to fluctuate. In the case of Tortoise and Hare, we've pivoted multiple times along the way. This is when we were serving pretty much everybody. Then we narrowed down to B2B tech here through this kind of part of the graph. And then about 2023 here was when we narrowed down to MSP specifically. So a lower volume of keywords and a lower volume of traffic isn't necessarily indicative of a problem, because your positioning and your targeting of your website and things like that can lead to a lower base of keywords and a lower amount of traffic, and that can all be a good thing. So but if you have a lower base of traffic, you still want to be seeing keywords that are ranking highly. So the next thing I'm going to look at generally when I'm doing a quick mini audit is what sort of keywords is this website ranking for. In the case of the Tortoise and Hare website, you can see we've got some if you look at this position column right here, this is the sorts of keywords that we're ranking in order. When you see one of these icons here, that means a SERP feature is being present. So in this case, we're appearing in the FAQs. In this case, we're appearing as an image on the search engine results page. In this case, we're appearing as an AI generated result at the top. SERP results are good. That means Google has crawled and understand your website and likes something about it and is showing it at the top. SERP features are really something that allows you to jump the line and go to the top on a keyword. So that's good stuff. You can see that we rank number 1 for several keywords here, and we're the king of trunk slammers, which if you're an MSP and listening to this, you'll probably get a laugh out of that, because that's a little bit of an MSP term. But we're ranking number 1 for search engine performance metrics. We're ranking number 1 for website optimization consultant, ranking number 1 for website speed consultant, mid-funnel content, some things like that. So you can just kind of get a feel for what sort of keywords that this website is ranking for. That's one of the things I'm going to look at when I look at a website, is just what does Google think you're the best at? Because if it, and is that something that you want to be known as the best at? Because a lot of times there is a mismatch. MSPs might, or tech companies might want to be ranking for more commercial keywords, but a lot of times their top keywords are just some random article about a support issue on like a cell phone or something like that. And outside of that, they're not really ranking for any meaningful keywords. So that's kind of the the next thing I'm looking at. And then after that, I'm generally going to be looking at the backlink analytics for a domain. And the backlink analytics is just to see like, what sort of, what's the link building situation going on here. And you can see the composition of kind of this authority score metric. So the first thing you want to look at in a high level audit is just, is there any signs of, bad link building practices, such as like, link farming or link networks, or they bought bad links or something like that. You'd be surprised how many companies who think they've done some SEO, and you look at these reports, and there's clear indications that an SEO company bought some bad links and has probably just really handicapped their domain's ability to rank because of spam linking. So that's not good. But you can see we don't have that issue here at Tortoise and Hare software. We get hit with negative SEO attacks because people don't like, when you get to higher rankings, people get nasty and start sending you backlinks from porn websites and things like that. But we take care to disavow some of those bad backlinks and things like that and maintain a healthy backlink profile. So you can see that it's indicating a natural profile here. Our link building power here is rated above average. So we got a good base of backlinks built, but we have low organic traffic, which again is really somewhat indicative of us choosing a pretty focused niche. And that was really going after the MSP space for a long period of time. We're actually looking at re-expanding out into broader B2B tech and doing more SaaS and cybersecurity and software dev type of work now, because that's more organic traffic is an important way, and like the path forward to generate more value out of SEO sometimes is to re-expand to get more traffic. So that's kind of the one we're working on right now from an SEO perspective. But we got the natural profile, we got the link power, and that's what we want to see is like when we're auditing a website is a natural profile, and then just see what the other components of a link profile would be. A lot of times you might see something suspicious pop out in this network graph, like if there's a private blog network, which basically means like if a web developer owns like 50 websites and starts sending you backlinks from all 50 websites, a lot of times they're going to be hosted on the same hosting provider, which means they're all going to be coming from a similar IP or set of IPs. So this network graph would kind of reveal that if there was a private blog network or something like that in the domain. That's definitely one of the more common things that we see. And then just want to see like kind of backlink growth. We recently did a disavow here, so that's kind of one of the reasons this is dropped. But you can kind of see that over all time, we've had consistent like backlink growth. So yeah, you can see that our categories of referring domains are also healthy. Advertising and marketing, information technology, computer software, online services. These are all the good categories. You want to build links from stuff that's that's niche relevant. So there's a lot of different ways that just building raw links isn't always good. You also want to be building niche relevant sort of links. So you can see that like we've got our top two categories are the things that we would want to see. So if we're looking at a technology website, we'd probably want to see information technology as the top one, so computer software as development as a secondary one, something like that. Can look at kind of anchors too, and you can see that we've got some good anchors such as best digital marketing company, things like that. These help tell tell Google what your website is about. And then you also want to see kind of a natural link profile here on a domain based on the authority score of the domains that are referring to them. Ideally, you would want more higher authority score domains linking back to you, but those are extremely hard to get backlinks from, because you're talking about like, how do I get a backlink from Microsoft, or how do I get a backlink from a real backlink from like Facebook or Google or something like that, not just like a user-generated content backlink. This is pretty natural in terms of like most websites are going to have a handful of links from like high authority domains, and then like kind of a descending increase in volume from like lower authority domains. So if you look at this kind of follow and no follow thing, a do follow link is something that a website says like, I'm actually endorsing the website that I'm linking back to. A no follow is how you kind of like link back to a website and say like, yeah, we're going to link back to this website, but we're not going to endorse them. And pretty much every user generated backlink, so for instance, if somebody like links to your website on Reddit, that's going to get a no follow link attribute applied to it, and it's going to say like, yeah, we're going to link back to this website from Reddit, but we are not encouraging you as a search engine to endorse, to like put any sort of like endorsement on it. And then they actually kind of come up with a more modern link attribute called a UGC. So you can see that we've got a couple UGCs, which is kind of an extension of no follow, because now there's like different ways to say like, okay, yeah, this is not just no follow, this is also like a no follow sponsored link. So somebody like, we're saying that we paid for this link, or we're saying that this is user generated content, but a lot of sites aren't using these more specific attributes yet. And then, it's just some other things that are a little bit more granular. You want more links coming from US and less coming from other countries if you're in the US or whatever your country of origin is. .coms are usually going to be the most common. EDU links are very valuable. Gov links are very valuable, but are also kind of hard to get. So this is pretty normal for a business just to see mostly comms, orgs, and nets. So that's kind of like the things that we're looking at is just to kind of re-summarize. We're looking at authority score, we're looking at number of unique referring domains, we're just looking at the historical like traffic patterns. You want to see like kind of growth and good basic keywords, increasing SERP. If I kind of like narrow this down to sort of like only top rankings and SERP features, growth in top ranking keywords and things like that over time. So you can see that's kind of showing up there, and then just getting an understanding of what sort of organic keywords the site is actually ranking for in their top positions. And then we're going to take a look at kind of a backlink look and just see what's going on with the site, look for a natural profile, look to see if there's any sort of like irregularities in the types of links that are being built, or the anchor text or anything like that. And if there is an issue, then we need to get like a disavow report together and kind of clean that all up. I'll just kind of show you real quick like Microsoft.com as well. Yeah, so this is a 100 authority score domain, which you could, understand why. It's a Fortune 50 company, has 4.2 million referring domains, good link graph, all sorts of good stuff going on there. And even Microsoft with 4.2 million, referring domains only has backlinks from a handful of high authority domains. And that's again because these domains are on a logarithmic scale, so there's far fewer domains that are 50 plus than there are below 50. So that just kind of illustrates that. And then if you kind of look at their domain overview for Microsoft, again, authority score 100, 4.2 million referring domains, consistent traffic growth over time, consistent keyword growth over time, and then obviously ranking for a lot of good stuff with their own properties such as Outlook and all that stuff. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight into what I'm doing, and I'm going to pop over here to talking. Hopefully you found this valuable. If you want a high-level overview of your domain and a high-level overview SEO audit done for your domain, feel free to reach out and we can take a quick look at that for you and hop on a report and walk through what the findings are and what might need to be done based off what we see in this a quick SEMRush audit. There are ways to do more in-depth audits, of course, but you can learn a lot about a website by just looking at some of these kind of key data points and giving you insight into what the potential of a domain is and what the potential action plan might be, just based off looking at some of these key SEO data points. So if you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff. It helps us create all sorts of helpful content to help you grow your business and grow your SEO and reach your business goals. I'm Hunter Nelson with Tortoise and Hare Software, and thank you for watching.